regular days would turn into never-ending weekends, no ordinary way. No, the unicorn's low. You plus me up, ripple effect. One dreaming architect. Hey, what do you say? Give me pink clouds, give me circuit carousels. Bring me the horizon, babe, I'm under your spell. Don't hold back on nothing. I want everything more. I wanna adore you. I wanna adore you. I want everything more. I want everything more. I got something for you. I got something for you. Give me pink clouds, give me circuit carousels. Bring me the horizon, babe, I'm under your spell. Don't hold back on nothing. I want everything more. I wanna adore you. I wanna adore you. Give me circuit carousels. Bring me the horizon, babe, I'm under your spell. Don't hold back on nothing. I want everything more, everything more. I want everything more. I want everything more. I
All right. Let's see. We got the audio. Good. I thought I'd start my Friday, or at least have a Friday, discussing something that I'm really actually interested in. I was just kind of watching lots of footage, and I really don't care about discussing like the actual event. I'm not when I brought this topic up. My goal is to look at the drone use because it's being used a lot. And I'm not talking about the military drone use. I'm talking about the consumer side of the drones that are being used because they are, and I'm wondering if you can spot it. And yesterday I was watching a video clip. I do have that clip. And we're going to be looking at a bunch of clips. Some of it, hopefully all of it's in the theater of operations. I was looking for things that were current, but sometimes they slip stuff in and you just don't know that it's there. But that's kind of what I want to do today for a little bit, is just look at some of that footage and see, and kind of look at the, whether you can determine what it is. Because yesterday, when I was looking at some footage, I knew exactly what they were flying. And that if I've been flying drones that long, that I can look at the footage of something and I can tell exactly what it is. So anyway, so I don't want to get into I don't want to get into really into the politics around it, because that's a different topic mainly. It's not like I'm not interested in politics, but I really want to look at the drone use, and it was very interesting. So that's kind of where I decided to bring this discussion. So welcome, Josh F. I've never seen you here, so it's your first time in. So anyway, that's kind of what we're doing. We just kind of did, I'm Dad Random, and I discuss random topics, and it's, holy crap, I better get that moving there. Holy crap, I got to apply a filter to my chat stream, sorry. Okay, let's see. Scroll, yes, and then just move it a little bit. There we go. Oh man, I just threw some. I just threw some stuff in. I just threw the chat in just a second ago, so I didn't have the scroll feature on. But hey, I'm glad you guys are here. Hey, Lee McCready's in the house. Mike is the first one in. Crypto Man, haven't seen you around in a while. Thanks for popping in. Josh, once again, hey, how you doing? But the topic is, and I'm not professing to know about military drones. So I don't even want to look at that. What I want to do is think about the consumer side and all the rationale that goes in behind it. Because, to be quite honest, if you use, say you happen to live where this event is taking place. Okay, we're talking about the war in Ukraine, and between Russia and Ukraine, and then whoever else is going to join the party. Say you're living in a neighborhood, and and you put up your consumer drone, and that first of all, is it dangerous to you? And I think you guys know the answer to that. But how easily detectable is it? And does the Russian military, and if you look at the Russian military or the Ukrainian military, both are looking in the sky. I actually saw the other day some Ukrainian soldiers firing at a drone. It was a drone in the sky. It wasn't an aircraft, because there's no way you'd be shooting at an aircraft, because it's stupid. It's a waste of ammo. But unless the helicopter or whatever it is flying low. But a military drone, that would be hard to hit too. But you could tell that they were shooting at a drone that was flying over this bridge. And who knows whose drone it was. But I just thought it'd be really interesting if you had any comments about this, because, but that's kind of where I'd like to go. I want us to kind of think about this topic. And we're going to look at a couple of different pieces of footage. Now, all this footage is YouTube footage, okay? So, yeah, and if you haven't, please hit the like button. I appreciate that. And if you can support the channel, I would appreciate it as well. So if you can leave a small tidbit of support, I always appreciate that. Oh, wow, we've got an update on OBS again. They've been updating a lot lately. So we've got a very short window of about 45 minutes. But this is the first. I love that I got the chat stream back up. So, all right. I just want to, first of all, before I go there, I want to give Josh, I'm going to get Josh into my moderators. Thank you for popping in. Like I said, it's important that we get new people in and we get new perspectives in. Normally, we're just chatting away about just about anything. Something that's come out recently, for example, the Mini 3, the Mini 3 is going to be great. We know that. And I do want to talk about that maybe a little bit today, not a ton. But I really want to get into this topic of military use of consumer drones. And a lot of people say, they'll just jam your drone. Guys, how many drone jammers are in the theater of operations of any military operation? And right now, looking at some of the activities going on, specifically looking at the Russians, obviously they got high tech, but how much high tech do they have? Do they have enough high tech to counter the hundreds and possibly thousands of consumer drones that are flying around taking video right now? And the answer probably is, yeah, exactly. Do the benefits outweigh the risk of your use of something like that, of a consumer-based drone? So let's look at this first video. I want us to kind of chat a little bit about it, but I'm going to go ahead and I've created a playlist is what I did. Let me go ahead and move my studio over. Now this is actually, and you can see these are the resources for where this is coming from. I cannot speak the language, so my assumption is what we're looking at is the theater of operations that is possibly in question. But what I want to do is look at the way that the footage is being used, okay? And be quite honest, this kind of footage that's put up can be used by both sides, quite honestly. So if you're basically looking at material that's being put up in the case of warfare, there's a lot of things you got to weigh. One is, by you posting that footage, are you hurting your own military? Man, are you putting up like your neighbor's basically position, on a battlefield, that kind of stuff. On the other hand, is what you're doing useful to you, and then of course is what you're doing useful to the enemy. So, and then of course, well, how detectable is this stuff? And so that's kind of what I'm looking at. So this is the first. This is the first footage I want to show you. Now, if a commercial comes up, I'll let it fast forward through. It shouldn't be any audio, but this says it's Mariupol. Okay, so this is eastern Ukraine, and this is obviously looks like a rural setting, but look at the video. See how it's. Okay, it's functioning. There's the coordinates. So somebody wanted to identify the location, and this is being used, of course, for military, and it's identifying the location of 2 tanks. Now, if you look at how shaky this video is, now there's a couple of reasons for shakiness. One is the height and the distance of this. Now, some of the footage says it's satellite footage, and I'm going to tell you right now, that footage that we're going to see later is not satellite footage. It is drone footage. There's no way from the angle that footage is being taken that it's satellite footage, okay? It's definitely drone footage, and what they're trying to do is mask the fact that they're actually taking video of a military operational area. Now, on the other hand, I want you to think of, if you lived in this town and these were your friends or these were your enemies, basically, would you get your drone up and be curious about it? And if you did, is there a way you could utilize that technology to keep it and make it less detectable? Because what's going to happen is there's triangulation gear, and they're going to find you. So there's a lot of different things that you have to take into consideration. So as we're going through, please comment if you want to, if you see anything that you can recognize. Now, on that last pan, did you see how fast it zoomed in? Check this out again. There's that wham, bam, right there. Now, could that have been done by a consumer drone? Do you see how shaky it is? Okay. Now, there's a couple of things that are going to tell me what kind of aircraft this is, okay? Fighting for your homeland. Let me tell you something. If you're, hell, yeah, you'd be up. You know, if you can, yeah, and then this is where we're getting into the conversation is, you know, is this, would you engage? And I mean, guys, a lot of us aren't very like healthy, you know, and, you know, we could go out and we could probably pull a trigger, but could we do we have the stamina to keep up, or would we hold a military unit back? And then since we can't, what else can we do? One is you want to protect your own family, you know, and your family's probably already at risk just being there. So those are the things that you weigh. But I can tell right away that this is not a drone from the drone sense. This is a light aircraft type drone because of how it's shaking around. Drones don't do this with, you know, so if this was like, say, a Mavic 3 or even an older one, you're not going to get this kind of footage. So this is more than likely a surveillance aircraft of some kind, more than likely with a really good zoom. Now, I can't tell the quality because this is, let's see, the most it goes to 720, and that's probably the rendered. So we go a little bit bigger here. But that's pretty good footage. This is in 720. There we go. There it goes back out. Now, do you see the cloud there? Another thing that sets it off. Just that this shakiness is telling me right away. Oh, there we go. We have another give right there. That's more than likely the camera compensating, and that's probably the wing of the aircraft or the cowling or something getting it. But look at the height and the altitude of the operation. There, it's turning around. Okay, so that's the first. So there's Maripol right there. So what they're doing is they're showing us the area. So whoever's watching this footage can get a perspective of what and where the operation is basically taking place. So this is a port city, and it's definitely, I'm guessing, there it is. So then they're identifying all of the key features and roads and things like that. So it says, reminds me of the super zoom cams on TV helicopters. You know what? This could be, I doubt it's a TV helicopter, and you might know a little bit more, but I can't, unless this is a Russian, I don't know why you wouldn't hover in a military operational area with a helicopter, even if you were, this is not this, there's too much, what I'm saying is there's too much loitering going on here. This person's not afraid for their life by flying and doing this video. So what I'm thinking is this person is not inside of the cockpit. You just don't loiter. If you're a military aircraft, you're low and fast. You are skimming the freaking, the countryside. So, but this is the first video, but these are all my perspective. So, but look at the zoom on there, okay? And if anybody knows Russian or Ukrainian, that's telling us in zooming in on an area that's being of an operation. So this is the first video clip, and then of course we've got the owner of the clip up there, or the creator of the clip. Let me just get out really quick so you can see that, so we can give credit to the clip and where it's coming from. Chias Photos, Chronostilis, yeah, I don't even know, I can't say that. Now, there's a lot of this footage that's actually being put up by news agencies. Some are foreign newspapers who are taking drone. The one thing is, if I was a foreign newspaper and I would put up a drone, I better be dang sure I'm outside of an area of operation where I could be triangulated and targeted. There you go. Okay. But this is, let's see, March 8th, and there's dates down here. So one of the things I want us to do is maybe somebody is going to watch this, that maybe, we can offer, any kind of, some kind of a, we're all, drone flyers here, but pretty interesting, isn't it? I wanted to play this out. But this is the first piece of footage. And showing military positions, and that's one of the things that a lot of this is very useful is, but remember, when you're showing the positions of people that you may know, you might not be showing you might accidentally be showing the positions of people you don't want to know. So, hey, Jackrabbit FPV, we are looking at drone footage. With a couple of different things we're doing. We're trying to identify where it's coming from, like whether it's a consumer drone or if it's a prosumer drone or it's like a fixed wing aircraft with a camera. And like I said, shakiness, this one tends to shake a lot. So I'm guessing it's fixed wing. Loitering fixed wing is my guess. Okay, probably a pusher prop. This could be a military grade pusher prop. I don't know. It could be a kit. So anyway, check it out. Or like I said, this is probably one of the more interesting things that you're going to maybe see. But I picked out a couple of different versions. So there's one. But definitely, see that shakiness? That is fixed wing. So the wind is higher. But this is footage, it says, from March 8th. Not a lot of views on it, 21,000 views. And then it's giving, like I said, it's giving coordinates. So here's the Ukraine military base captured by Russia in Kherson. So you've got, all right, so there's a commercial. So I want to move on from when we get to commercial. We'll have to let it play out for obvious commercial reasons. Okay, here's the next footage. I'm going to move on to the next. Now this one, it says May 14th. Now this here, so let me go ahead and I'm going to transition really quick. And then Jackrabbit FPV, thank you for popping in. What I want to do, Jackrabbit, is add you to my moderator screen. So just give me a second. Here, let me go ahead and open up. I got to open up number 2 over here. Just give me a sec. But this one, if you're an FPV flyer, you can recognize this right away. So this is drone buzzes low over proxy trenches, records Russian mine launchers. Okay, but this looks like a FPV, DJI FPV video that I've seen. And there's a trench right there. You can see that thing, and I can't believe that was dug by hand. Holy crap, guys. War is hell, I'll tell you right now. But look at that, look at that, look at that. So this is a guy that's flying FPV over because that's a pretty good video. And buzzing low. So pretty interesting video, isn't it? And then of course it's identifying positions as it's going. This is almost like World War I stuff, So let me just get over here while you're looking at that. But I will let you know the source of this in just a second. Oh my gosh, looks like there was a Rusky in the chat. All right, well, I'm not banning anybody, and I'm not promoting the war on either side. I don't, what I want to do is look at the drone aspect of it. So that's what we're doing, guys. Because war, we can all agree, and if you've been involved and if you've been in the military and you've been in warfare, you'll understand that there's it's never good when it, in the long run. It's, people, decisions are made, but people end up dying, and we all understand that, especially veterans. So remember, our goal is just to look at the footage, look at the type of drones and how they're being applied. That's really what I want to look at. Let's see, they've been in a trench-style warfare in eastern Ukraine for a long time, so that's probably where it is. Thank you. And that's where, like I said, so this is more than likely Eastern Ukrainian footage, probably from before. Look at all you got to do is look at the field. It's green grass. So more than likely, this is older footage, probably from last summer, is my guess. There's a sandy field there, and there's all kinds of things that this footage does. Is you can identify the location by looking at the geography. You can look at the materials being used. All of those things. So I had to thank you for the spammers. Just please kick them out. So, but but there's some interesting stuff here. That's why I had to do it today. And we'll probably run out of time before I run out of video. But let me just go. I just want to get our new viewers in. So just give me a second here. Just go into my videos and But I knew you guys would kind of perk up because it's been kind of, it's been a little bit drab, and so I thought I'd kind of, I'd delve into the possibly the dark side, a little bit today. So let me just go in there and click this open, and I just want to run this. But obviously the military has their there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Hey, where's Jackrabbit? I'm looking for you, man. I'm looking for you. There's Jackrabbit FPV. Want to draw? There we go. Okay. There we go. I just wanted to add you in there. All right. So yeah. So thank you. Web local. More than likely, this is exactly what you're saying it is. It's probably, look at that. But that's DJI FPV. It's very, very close to it. Just the quality of the video, the flyer, these flight characteristics, this is totally stuff I've done. But can you see, if you get a very high quality image and you get something that can move fast, that thing would be very difficult to, you wouldn't have time before it just came out of nowhere and it would disappear, So, but just think of the footage that can be garnered from that kind of application. But to me, that is, let me go ahead and shut this down here. But this says May 14th, 2021. So there you go. So it's last year. So there we go. There's our date. But when I saw the footage, I wanted to look at the type of footage it was. So it was last spring. So it's over a year old. But another application. Let's look at this one. Now, this next one is the one I got yesterday. Now, this is yesterday's footage. And I want you guys to tell me what drone is basically taking this video. If you've flown enough DJI drones, you'll know exactly what's taking this video. All right, so let's see. What do they do if they radio down the trench to let them know the drone is coming? They take pot shots at it? Yeah, exactly. But how about this? How about they go, hey, we've got a radio in the area within 2 miles. Let's get a fix on this knucklehead, and let's take them out with an anti-drone missile or some kind of a countermeasure. Obviously, they've got countermeasures that'll knock the signal out and render the drone, So anyway, I just thought like I said, we'll look at the possibilities here. Now, this next piece of footage is very noticeable. I've owned this drone. Okay, so check this drone footage out. Like I say, we're not, guys, there are people being there. This is a battle where people are basically fighting for their lives. So let's not take it for granted. That's not what I'm saying. But somebody is putting their kahunas out there, flying this thing. I would say if it's the drone I'm thinking it is, they are within a mile of the location of this battle, and they are flying this drone. This is the Russian side of, I believe, of the town. I think this road here separates it out. That's my guess, but watch the drone footage and how it moves. Okay, there is a drone up and down adjustment, right? You see that? Do you see that little rock there? What is that? You guys know that drone that's taking this video. This is a very low budget drone. Now, if it was mini, okay, hey, Josh, it's a small drone for sure, okay? But it's not, you thinking a Mavic Pro, come on, when a Mavic Pro adjusts, now you're thinking, yeah, I think it's an old Phantom, to be quite honest. But when it's adjusting, the gimbal is not adjusting for the side movements. You're seeing so there's a couple things it could be. It could be an old Parrot drone. That's my guess. The other one is a Spark. Drone delirium. Oh man, I'm telling you. My guess is a Spark or an old Bebop of some kind. because a bebop can actually zoom in. The Spark can actually zoom. So anyways, but this to me is Spark footage. And then it's using it's using a digital zoom of some kind. It says, damn, look at the horizon tilt. It's definitely a Phantom. Hey, it could be an Autel. Horizon tilt. But remember, when I was watching this, I was like, you see every time it makes that a side-to-side adjustment, it doesn't have the gimbal ability to so, hey, thanks for popping in, Lone Star. But but look at this. Could this footage function as military footage? Could the person flying this thing actually affect the outcome of a battle because they're flying it? And think about the risk. So, yeah, if you flew a Spark and you saw the Spark, when you yaw a Spark, it doesn't have the ability to, it's a 2-axis gimbal. So when you yaw it, it has to adjust. So an old Phantom with a zoom, and I think you're not an old Phantom, but that zoom, yeah. But to me, I'm guessing it's a Spark. I can't remember if my Spark had a zoom on it, but I was thinking Spark here all the way. Sparks are little. It would be very hard for these guys to see except for the sound, but once you get that Spark up there, it would be hard to detect. Once you get it above 150 feet, this is well above 150 feet. This is in the 200-foot range. No zoom on the Spark, so, but what other drone, when you yaw it like that, does it, that is excellent military footage. Prime intel, yeah, I would say, because you're getting real-time footage. So you're getting real-time view of the battlefield. You can assess battle damage. These are actually soldiers. I think they're Russian soldiers on this side of the berm, and Ukrainian soldiers are on the opposite side of the berm in the truck, by the truck area here. But what's happening is you see these little black marks as they're throwing grenades at each other. And these guys are only hitting the street. And the shrapnel is basically dispersing on the street and not going to the other side of the ditch, at least from what I tell. Maybe it's just more visible that way. But these guys are just chucking grenades over the side there. And from but watch it pan again. I'm just going to let it play out. Air 2S. Yeah. I'm thinking anytime it pans, the drone pans, you're getting you're getting an FPV effect. Now this could be a DJI FPV in hover mode. So a drone is better than an artillery spotter. Oh heck yeah. You can actually use perspective, and you now have things that are, now you can basically go, if you have basically operational maps, you can tell the distance between things. So if you're, say in a position that's that's out of view of here, you can use a lot of landmarks to determine azimuth. You can determine all kinds of different physics of the area. So I saw a breakthrough of this video. Those are Ukrainian vehicles. There are Russian troops in the grass on this side of the road. Yeah, and that's what I also saw. So I think, see now, there's a couple of these are all trucks that are pulling artillery, and they got hung up, and they're fighting over it. I think they're trying to determine what's, if there's anything that can be scavenged here. They could have been put there for a reason. Sometimes you put things that people want in an obvious place for ambush. Food, there's all kinds of military reasons to put something useful there. So it could be a cheap Hubsan. Guys, okay, first of all, wouldn't you just get on the used market and find cheap stuff and then use that, because it's all expendable? Use it up, use the batteries up, and then of course it's going to only have a useful time period that's very short. So it says there's no way to know what drone it is. No, I don't think there is, but you can determine sometimes by the footage. And, if I go back to the previous video, this one right here, if I go back to this video right here, let's play out this commercial real quick. But if you play out this video here, you can tell right away that this is, good camera footage, and that is flying a lot like a DJI FPV. And it had been around long enough to make this video. So that was that earlier one. All right, let's move ahead. I want to move ahead down to, now we got through this one. Like I said, that's that shaky side to side video. I've only seen that kind of footage in the DJI Spark, at least in my opinion. But it obviously could be something else. Now I try not to. Now this is ground footage, but I believe we get aerial footage because it's mixtures. All right, here's another one. This is once again that same type of footage where we're getting. This is definitely fixed wing footage with a really good camera. So here's a one where you can go, this is a fixed wing, but somebody's mounted. Now I've seen in some videos where they're mounting FLIR type cameras and you're getting infrared video, which is probably the scariest footage because it's probably the most, Mel, I totally agree. It could be FPV with just a good camera, but you don't have to go and make that. You can literally buy that off the street, for $1,000, you don't think that they have access to, to crypto. You go, buy a couple of those FPV drones. To me, those things offer the best of both worlds. You get some stealthiness by being able to fly fast. You get really super long range. You can fly that sucker well over 2 or 3 miles. And protecting yourself is probably critical. Let's see, it's probably one of those high-end Chinese UAVs, probably in this one here. Now like I said, I don't know whose footage this is. We got Russian and Ukrainian footage. But this all, to me, it's useful when you can stop it. And let's see what the definition of this footage goes to. Yeah, so this is only put out at 1080, probably because they wanted to get it out quickly. It might have been put up on a phone, and more than likely, because they're trying to get information out quickly, they're uploading stuff by phone. But very interesting. Look at the zoom on that. That's a good zoom. So if we get the 2 different shots, you'd compare altitudes, and most of us have flown drones enough to know that this right here is probably 100 feet above this target right here. At least 100, and it's somewhere in between 175, something like that. But you can identify targets in the window. You can stop frames. You can look at rooftops. You can determine battle damage. You can assess whether it's being occupied or not by looking for trails inside of the snow. This is really, really valuable stuff. Once again, look at the roofs of houses. You can tell if they're being heated. You can look at the types of motor traffic, how long, and it looks like, say, you're looking for all kinds of telltale signs of habitation. And this is definitely, like I said, fixed wing type footage. All right, I told you I'd be running out of time. I'm not going to go past 3, guys, for sure. But very interesting. And if any of you want to share some footage of this type, and if we just want to look at it, I want to look at it from the drone sense. Like I said, I think all of us get kind of worn down by certain news and things like that. But this is very interesting for as drone flyers to note that do you have is there something we can offer the community? If you've got expertise, and say you are a Ukrainian citizen, and obviously we think what's going on down there is not too cool, and we'd like it to stop. But, can we assess and help and know how to do that? Because remember, if you're putting a drone up, you're also showing your position, you're showing where the friendly positions are, and you're showing where possibly enemy positions are. Plus, you become a combatant at this time. You are not a civilian when you're starting to locate and identify targets. To be quite honest, you are now a combatant. But I'm just telling you, the people that live in these towns, they're not trying to stay out of it. They're there because they want to get it over with. So Web Local, they've got some UAVs that are like gliders. Here, let me get some of this. Let me get the chat up here. Sorry, guys. I just want to throw the chat up behind me so we can get you guys to go to browser. I haven't had the chat stream, I've told you, in a while. So there we go. You just put that up for us. But I knew this would create a lot of discussion because we're all like, I think we've been indoctrinated into this material. But they've got some UAVs that are like gliders with a 6-foot wingspan, kind of like the snapfish, little brooms on the wings that have rotors that make it VTOL. Very cool. A cross between a quad and a glider. Actually, been thinking a lot about drones and what we can do to help. Yeah, and Trevor, there's been people, you've noticed that there's been very very prominent people that have donated like military drones to the Ukrainians. So, guys, okay, here's a question: Could an SE, a $200 drone, could that be a very powerful tool of war? And the answer is freaking-lutely. The SE it's cheap, it's fast, it's easy to basically modify if you want to grab batteries for it. It's got a massive range, to keep the user in a somewhat outside of you're never outside of a battle. I mean, you'd have to be 30 miles away, and even then a cruise missile could take you out. But, 300 miles. But could you transmit, get material, operational material, and then quickly stop transmitting? Could you transmit live? There's all kinds of things that you could do. You could take your drone and go to the Ukraine, and they will put you straight into an anti-tank team. Exactly. It'd be quite, yeah. They're not going to turn down anybody. Guys, I have seen World War I footage. Here, let me just take the chat stream just down for a second. I've seen World War I footage, and as good as this. So from spotter aircraft, air reconnaissance has been used for over 100 years in warfare. So well into, if you want to go back into the the pre. Into even the American Civil War, you can go way back there. So, but you can see rivers, you can see the location. It's very, very powerful footage. Yeah, look at the shakiness. Here's some more. Look at that shaky footage there, but that's definitely fixed wing. Let it go. Just let her go. Let her go. But they will use anything that flies. Look at the splatter damage. It's just that whole, look at that, the whole countryside just full of there's artillery over there. The rockets have a little higher trajectory. Splatter, usually long splatter like that's artillery. It could be rocket. A lot of those rocket batteries. So, all right, let's move on from there. Let's do. I got time for a couple more. All right, we got to let this guy get by his flashlight on his head. This looks like me sometimes. Now this is drone footage, but this is just slow and go drone footage. This is Ukrainian footage, obviously. Yeah, I got to see the armbands, and you can see there's the pans and the rise shots. But this is definitely this is made probably for news footage. They're trying to, assess and then, of course, propagandize this footage. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, just the amount of material that it takes to, and then, I mean, all this stuff changes hands. I mean, it's crazy. And that's phone footage that's been blown up a little bit. But this is low end, low footage. Let me see if they get higher on this shot. Now that tank looks like it's been there for years. And it's just been a couple of days. And it's just insane. So that's the same footage over and over again right there. But this was definitely used for file footage for news agencies and things like that. Oh yeah, we got there yellow on here. That's news. This was Sky News. Okay, now I want you to look at this footage, this next footage. Now, some of it is said to be footage that is satellite. I understand satellite footage is very good. Okay, now you know the difference between satellite and non-satellite footage. A lot of the times it's the angle. Most satellite footage is straight up and down like this, but watch how this footage changes. And I believe that some of it is actually drone footage. So let me see if I can get that. So you'll see a lot of this, and of course these are blow-ups of satellites, okay? So this is more than likely not drone footage. If it is drone footage, it could be really large military drone footage, stuff that's very high altitude. The commander don't care. He just wants, yeah, exactly. How old is that information? Now that's Chernobyl down there. That's scary crap going on down there. I can tell by that big dome. But let me just see. I think this one was going. They get into some moving footage. Now this is all satellite footage for sure. Commercial satellite footage. Now I have some different stuff that's not like this. There's airfield right there. And by the way, for a Russian aircraft, every freaking road in Ukraine is an airfield. So you can't. There's no such thing as an airfield. The Russians really did that right when they built their aircraft. The MiGs, they're all built to operate off of dirt. They can take off a freaking road anywhere. I believe our A-10s are like that too. There's some really interesting stuff going on with the new version of the A-10 if you're interested in military stuff. Now here's the same footage. Let's play this through. I believe this one is the footage with it's not. You see how the angle of this footage is different? Okay, this is not satellite footage, but if you look at the description on it, it will say it's from a satellite. And it's not. At least in my opinion, it's not. What's it? The totally beside the point, but Chernobyl trans to English as wormwood? Oh my Lord. But this is definitely drone footage, or fast moving aircraft. Could be helicopter footage, but there's no way you're going to fly over a military column. These things are usually defended by anti-aircraft and, all kinds of stuff. Here, I gotta move on here. But I just wanted to see that this might not be the footage in question, but this is the slow moving column to Kiev as the 28th. But you can tell this is definitely drone footage. Let's see, let's see. Yeah, it says 3D satellite imagery shows. Now I know you can pan this footage, but the angle is totally wrong. It's definitely not 3D satellite. It can't be. I understand, that it's just some of it. I think it's a lot of times they mix in satellite footage with actual covert drone footage because they don't want to show operations, that are close to. I mean, there's so much stuff down there. But anyway, guys, remember, this is all my opinion. I mean, I'm using my noggin and, some information, that I've learned over the, past many years. And, But that's it. Let's go. I think I have one more. This is the last one for today. It'll be enough for this subject, and we'll be pretty much done for the day, and we can wrap it up. But this is more footage here. Now this is more news footage, and you can tell this is the other way that drone footage can be used. It can be used for informational purposes. Now, not necessarily military information. Now, once again, when you're taking a picture of a crowd of people that are your friends and you're creating drone footage, you have to understand that you're also telling a story to whoever else is watching the video. So if this information can be also, deemed very quality for the enemy, going, hey, look, I can tell that there are a certain number of people in a certain location at a certain time of day, okay? Now, this is just informational showing, this is a citizen rope. This was the power plant where citizens got up and tried to block the road. You got to block the whole thing if they're tanks. I mean, I feel for these people because they're sick of, oh boy, Fox News. We got that going on here. I think that was it. Yeah. All right. So that's enough of that. I don't want to go anymore. But that's that's the last little piece of footage that I've got. So I just threw a compilation together. I am actually going to, let's see, I will put this, I will put in the description the playlist if you wanted to check any of these out. So you can do that. Anyway, all right. That's it. That's all I got today, guys. That's Dad Random. I'm going to go ahead and take this stuff down and go back out. But I just wanted to look at, this subject and just, kind of, we can use our ability to, that we're, in our interest, in a lot of different ways. And I always think of if I were in the same boat, as these folks, what would I be doing? How would I use my technology that I have available to me to do what I can do? Because some of us, we can't serve, we can't go and, everybody can serve, and when it gets down to it, but if you can pull a trigger, you can serve. But when it gets, some of us can't. We're older. Say we took up the hobby, and we're just in that part of our life. We want to do something, and this is something you could do. You could, say, just give me a drone, and I'll travel around, and I'll, stay, in the rear with the gear, and I will, put my drone up where you need it. Just, like I said, artillery unit. But anyway, I just thought that would be interesting for us to check out today. Dad Random, very random today, but we don't, like I said, it's not something we like to talk about, but it's something that we basically are around. This is the world we're living in today, but yeah, you can make a difference, I guess, is what I'm saying. And I think a lot of people are. And I guess if I can dedicate this to anybody, this stream, and is, if you see some footage, making comments on footage is something you can do. If you can, support one of the groups that are maybe sending drones over, and you can basically afford to buy a half a drone for somebody. That half a drone probably is going to serve a really important purpose. And there's no question that this event in history is being affected by UAVs. There's absolutely no question that UAVs are showing their purpose, and that's why the FAA has been so tough on us as far as what we can do. But on the other hand, the FAA knows they need us. They need pilots. They need people that can fly drones, and they need them that can fly them far. They need pilots that can fly them with the knowledge of their capability. So I just thought that that would be a little bit of a word of encouragement to keep flying our drones, and to keep flying and learning as much as we can. So anyway, I guess that's enough of my prophesizing today. But guys, I so thank you guys for putting up with me. Mike, appreciate you popping in right away. Crypto Man, thank you so much. Josh, thank you for being here for the first time. Eat More Possum, you were on the on the precipice of the beginning. Yes, I am learning and hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of the assembly of that really awesome printer. And if you have not watched that video, check it out just real quick. It just shows you the printer. I don't get really in depth in it. I'm still learning it, by the way, but you can see what not to do. But check the Ender 2 Pro out. It is a great, great printer. If you've never done any 3D printing, there are people buying them for their kids for birthday presents. They're under $200. So, Lee McCready, thank you for popping in. So glad you were here today. Let's see, who else am I missing on our list of here? And to our spamming Russian, thank you so much for jumping in. Jackrabbit FPV, thank you. Yeah, let's see, Web Local, thank you so much for your insights. I've very, very interesting insights. If you have not read the comments on the stream, the Web Local has been throwing down some really, really interesting knowledge. There are many, like I said, uses for this technology, and let's not take it lightly or for granted. As we, say you get your 107 and you get into the depth of this hobby. Drone Delirium, thank you. I do believe that one is a spark. To me, it screamed spark, the entire thing. And yes, I probably wouldn't fly a spark in a war zone. It's damn things are so loud. I'd probably find an Anafi. Guys, if there's any old parrot Anafis and you can send one to the good folks in Ukraine, a parrot Anafi would be, to me, the perfect drone. It's so small and hard to, literally, except for the fact that I did have a giant bug, prehistoric bug, knock mine out of the sky. It was trying to kill it, though. Let's see, we go. Crypto Man, I got you. Thank you so much. 400 Mel AGL, thank you for popping in. I know you don't pop into the streams very often, and you got your own thing going, but thank you for your expertise. Thank you for your comments. You do have great knowledge that you have brought, so I really appreciate you coming in. Let's see, who else? Did I miss anybody? If I did, Trevor P. in the house, thank you so much. Yes, he says, I've seen those Turkish-made drones, and they can fly for 24 hours. I didn't even get that. That is freaking amazing. Guys, if I had a drone that could fly for 24 hours, you know for a fact it'd be flying right now. Okay, I'd just leave that sucker hovering. You know me. I'd try to get a range test on it, okay? But don't say anything. I just said range test for the 24-hour drone. Jackrabbit FPV, thank you so much once again. And I think I got everybody. That's it. That's I've got a different outro for today, just a music outro. So I'm trying to simplify my stream base because I've been having a little bit of trouble with drop frames. So I'm trying to perfect it so I can get my my guest back. I'd love to get. We'd like to get Kai back in because I would have loved to have had Kai, with a live, like give and take with this topic. Maybe he will have some insight and we could bring this topic back because there's more to talk about and more to see. So there's a ton of footage out there. Check it out, okay? Like I said, I don't assume anything anymore, but anyway, I think I've talked too much. Alrighty. I'm out of here. Let's get some music going. Let's get some epidemic sound going. That's not, is that going up music? That's some sad stuff. I can do better than that. Let me just go see if I can find a tune to go out in. It's a good relaxing, but not end of drone flying. So I love epidemic sound, by the way, so we give a little bug right now. I like the ocean. It's fine. What's our groove? Epic? Dream? Let's go to genres. Get a little bit of hip hop. Should we go out? Nah, Yeah, I'm going with some hip hop, kid. Nah, Sky. I'm gonna go to Old Faithful, my playlist, and then go to my little Dad Random Live, and let's go here. That's usually my ending. That's one of my ending theme songs that I use on a regular basis. All right. Anyway, we're out of here. Have a good one. See you. Thank you. Bye.
We're just friends, yeah. But who are we kidding? We can't pretend that we feel nothing. But if you're game, I am willing.